The following content is brought to you with funding from the Universal Service Fund, USF, via its local digital content development initiative. Enjoy the show.
What's up, beautiful people? How are you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Money Talk with Prue. Hi, I'm Prue. On this channel, we talk about all things finance, specifically personal finance and small business management. So if you want to attain financial freedom or just want to learn how to manage your small business like a pro, then you are in the right place. Couples and finances. That is our topic today. According to some research on Google, it is said that about 20 to 40% of divorces are a result of financial arguments between couples. So as you can see, those numbers are really big, and that's a topic that needs to be talked about often, but isn't. And all these things on how to manage your money as couples is something that needs to be talked about on a regular basis between you as a couple or you as an individual, so that you learn to live in harmony in your relationships. So here to help us navigate this topic is Dr. Sydney Kankuzi. He is a lecturer at the University of Malawi, Chancellor College, and he is also, I'm not sure if I can call it a relationship coach.
Yeah. So
yes, he is a relationship coach. So that is why he is here to help us understand this. So I first came to know about you through one of the seminars that you did online. You did a single seminar, and over the years I've seen that you do couples seminars, family seminars, or even recently you're doing another one that you want to teach young boys to grow up to be responsible men and women. So yeah, he does a lot of work in that area. So welcome to Money Talk with Prue.
Thank you.
Yes, and I appreciate you for taking your call, for accepting my call. You know, coming all the way from Zomba, I don't take it for granted.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So if you can just tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself. That's how I know you, but maybe there are other things that I don't know about you. So just in brief, just tell us a bit of your background and why you are interested in working with couples.
All right, thank you. Of course, I'm here because I am into the area of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here in my capacity as somebody working at the University of Malawi.
Okay.
But that's what brings bread onto my table.
Mm-hmm.
So I have I call it a ministry.
Okay.
Yeah, I look at it as a ministry because I'm reaching out to people where I'm looking at issues that have to do with marriage, family. There are two issues, marriage and family.
Okay.
Yeah, so I live in Zomba. I was born in Zomba. I traveled around the country, then finally settled in Zomba because that's where I'm working.
Okay.
But I deal with people from all around the country, and online I also deal with people outside Malawi, where we deal with issues about this. And I am a relationship coach. I am a marriage counselor.
Okay.
Yeah, I also teach about marriage and family life in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, I think you celebrated, was it 20 years or 25 years?
22 years in marriage.
22
years.
Yeah,
we are getting into our 23rd year.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's a really long time.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so when two people come together now, they are dating or they are married. They all come with different backgrounds, which means they'll come into that relationship with different ideas on how they view the world.
Yeah.
And one of those areas is the financial aspect. How somebody was managing their money at home or how their parents were managing their money in their household is different from the other person. So what is what are the common issues that surround the financial challenges that couples meet?
All right, so when we talk about money, money is at the center of everything that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Jesus talked a lot about money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we grow up in different environments. In those environments, we are dealing with money, but differently.
Yeah.
We also have different aspirations about different things. And so we have different aspirations about money. We have different aspirations about marriage. And so we get married. And then the moment we get married, money comes in. In fact, we begin to talk about money even before you get married. Sometimes you even consider somebody worthy marrying because of their ability to make money or how much money they do have. So money is in the middle of every relationship. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the strategies that you can recommend to couples when they come together to align themselves financially?
All right, so that's a very important question because you have to talk about money before you get married.
Okay.
So even when you are not making money yourself, the other person is making money. Usually, in our traditional sense, it's usually the man making more money.
Yes.
But you have to talk about money because money is going to be at the center of your marriage. So you have to talk about how you're going to be making your money, how you're going to be spending it, because spending money reveals the kinds of values that we have about relationships and money. So you have to talk about that. So the first thing is to talk about it before you get married. Unfortunately, most people do not, and the reasons are very understandable. Because when you start talking about money before the marriage, sometimes you can lose the person because you may end up scaring the person. Now, I'm not recommending that's how things should be, but you should understand that sometimes people don't talk about the money because they think when you start talking about money, maybe I'm going to be interpreted as somebody who does like money more than the person. Or maybe somebody who does not know how money works. So people tend to keep quiet until they get there. But what you need to do is talk about money before. So as you plan for the marriage, talk about the money. When you get into the marriage, talk about money because money is at the center of everything.
And what specifically should be discussed when we are saying let's talk about money?
All right. First of all, you must establish that you have a proper attitude towards money.
What's that?
Money is good. Money is good, but the way you handle it, it can look bad. So let's say I have a bad attitude toward money. I don't want to make money. There are people who are capable of making money, but they don't want to make it because they think money has to come to them. Talk about it. How are you going to make money? How are you going to be contributing towards making money for the family? Yeah. So you can also talk about spending. Yeah, you notice how you spend. You know, sometimes people have a lot of money, but they lose it too quickly because they don't know how to spend it. They spend it anyhow. There are those that have a lot of money. They don't seem to use the money because they don't know how to spend it. So they like keeping the money in one place.
It's to just be seen that it's there.
Yes. So you're talking about all those things. What are you going to do as a family to make money? How are you going to be spending that money? And how would you want that spending affect you? And you also have a family relations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you talk about those things.
Okay.
Sure.
So you say this discussion needs to be done before getting married. At what stage specifically now should that be discussed? Because early on it would feel like too quick, maybe.
It just depends on the individuals involved. You know, when you're building a good relationship, you can talk about anything, anytime. But when the relationship has not grown, it's difficult to start talking about money. So you have to build trust first. The other person must understand that you're talking about money in good faith. They have to understand that it's about wishing the family that you're going to form well, the marriage that is going to be formed well. Yeah, so it's difficult for us to say, you start the relationship today, you start talking about money tomorrow. But you have to know that at this point, the other person has built trust in you. You have also built trust in the other person. Actually, there are people who decide not to talk about money because they're not confident that the other person will understand what they're going to say. So they take it low first until they get there and say, okay, let's talk about money.
Sure. So that discussion has been had. They've married. Now, according to you, like your personal opinion, do you think it's best that couples combine their incomes or have like joint accounts, or should each individual have their own accounts?
All right. So I'm very biblical on this matter. I'm very biblical. So I recognize that there are many theories out there about money. So what I usually teach couples or even individuals when they approach me about how do we prepare for marriage and the like. I always tell them that the money that you are making when you are married is not yours. It belongs to the family. It belongs to the marriage. So before you get married, you have money. When you get married, you don't have money. The money belongs to both you and your spouse. It's a very difficult teaching because it contradicts the thinking that men and women have to see themselves as like partners.
Yes.
Yeah, so they have some control over what they are bringing into the marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, when you say family money is our money. So whether you decide to put it in different accounts, it still is family money.
Okay.
A husband, for example, should allow a wife to have an account. But the wife is accountable to the marriage, to the family. So she can be asked, okay, we have so much money in your account. Can you tell us how you have been using it? So she will have to provide a report. The same thing a husband will also have to provide a report. It's family money. But there has to be that liberty where you can have money that you can use without getting consent from the family. So I usually recommend that when the husband and the wife have got money, they can set aside money that they cannot use without consulting each other. They should also set aside money that is in one account that the wife can use without consulting. The other one, the husband can use without consulting. The amounts will depend on how much money they make. So it can be a 100,000 for one couple. It can be 2 million for another couple. You know, people can be rich. Getting 5 million from their account may not make a difference. Yeah. So it will just depend. But the principle is the same. Let the two have money that they can utilize when they find need, as long as they are accountable.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in that scenario, it's like maybe both are earning money.
Yes.
What happens? Should things be handled differently if, for example, only the husband is the breadwinner or only the wife is the breadwinner?
All right. So ordinarily, the husband must provide for the wife.
Okay.
Ordinarily. But in our present generation, we know that women also work. So when the woman is working, is assisting the same family. So there has to be protocol that is followed where you agree that, okay, you also work. When you bring the money, you bring it to the table. So it's about not saying that I work, I have my money.
Okay.
The money comes onto payslip at work in the name of the wife or the husband. But that's because they are employed by that person. You can't employ husband and wife. But at the bottom of your heart, you know, we are a team. So I don't have money. So nowadays the language is that the husband has money, or maybe the boyfriend has money, the girlfriend has money. Yes, at boyfriend girlfriend level, each one of them have money because they are not under any covenant.
Okay.
But when they say now we are joined together, this is why my emphasis is on the biblical view. Yeah, they bring the money together. They too recognize that this one is contributing this, the other one is contributing this. And they are not coming in as people have just met on the road and say, how much money do you have? They are talking about them as husband. In the biblical sense, it's one body. That's a one body theory.
Yeah. So one body, one money.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
But it's a difficult teaching. About that I know.
Yeah.
It's a hard teaching to our generation.
And as you've said, the husband needs to provide for the family.
Yes.
But then recently, actually, there's been that trend where men are okay and they are comfortable with just having the wife be the breadwinner. What do you say to men who think in that way? And then it's sorry to cut you, but it's like in the end, they end up making the wife unintentionally. She becomes the head of household, if I can put it like that.
Yeah, it's it's a situation.
Okay.
In our present generation.
Yeah.
But that's how that's not how things were meant to be. The man must provide. The man is a provider. If I take it very biblically, the man was given work before he was given a woman.
Okay.
So if you go to the Garden of Eden, the man is given, this is your area, this is where you live, you work and you protect it. There's a later stage when God says, let's create a woman to help this man. So the man, when this woman is coming, the man has already started providing.
Yes.
Yeah. So in theory, the woman comes when the man is already a provider. Nowadays, women are working. That does not make them a provider.
Okay.
The provider is an office. It's not an activity.
What do you mean?
I mean that it's like the school head, the headmaster is an office.
Yes.
You occupy it, it's got its responsibilities.
Yes.
So you can do certain things there. When you leave, the other person is going to do the same things. You cannot carry those things. So the husband has got an office. The wife has got an office. The office of the husband and the office of the wife.
Yeah.
In that office, you have terms of reference. One of the terms of reference is that you'll be providing for your family. And the family starts with your wife.
Okay.
Now, the wife also has abilities and she can be willing to work. I'm saying willing because the wife can also choose not to have a job.
Okay.
She can take care of the home. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
So when she has decided to go and work, she's supporting the provider.
Okay.
So when the man sits down and say, let the wife feed me, then she has abdicated responsibility. She's like a soldier who has abdicated his responsibility. He has run away from the battlefield. What happens when that happens? There is a martial law that deals with that situation. So nowadays, a lot of men, I take it because of lack of knowledge. Sometimes it's of exploitation. Sometimes there are many reasons. They would want the woman to feed the man. The question is, so why does that woman have a man? What is the responsibility of the man in this way? Now, it becomes even more sophisticated because the woman has been trained to believe that she's also a provider.
Yes.
So she's happy to provide. But she's doing it because she doesn't subscribe to this understanding that
the man is the
here.
provider.
Yeah. So if she understands it the way I am explaining, she's going to say, no, I cannot be a provider. I'll bring the money. You also do your part. Now, when the man is not able to provide because of valid reasons, the woman is bringing money. The responsibility of the man is to multiply that money, is to put that money into good use.
Okay.
So the woman brings money, the man takes the money and starts doing projects for the family. So that money is multiplying, not sitting down and say, let the money come, let's eat it, this is them. Why? You're not the man. That one is not the husband. It's simply being fed. And what kind of household is that? But this is also a hard teaching. It's not an easy teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Okay, so I've got it. Communication early on about how much money who brings what, and then how we use that money.
Yes, together.
And there should always be that liberty to say, one can use this freely. It's not like everything is under.
Not like if you want to buy sweets somewhere,
like
the husband has to say, yes, you can buy. No.
Okay.
There should be money that the wife, because the woman is intelligent, is an intelligent person, got needs, has to be respected for that.
Yeah.
The husband is intelligent, so this is that we're talking about trust. You trust them so much that they can spend money without you giving
worrying.
They
are misusing it.
You make a mistake, you can correct it later.
Okay.
We all learn through mistakes. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Whew. Wow. All right. So, what's one financial advice you wish couple knew before they started this managing money together? And also another one, like how can they handle financial disagreements in harmony without damaging the relationship?
All right. One major piece of advice that I give to people is that marriage is not built by love alone.
Okay.
Yeah, you can love each other, but it's about the knowledge that you have about things. how you understand those things and the kind of wisdom that you have in the marriage.
Okay.
So don't overemphasize love. Love does not bring food on the table. Love does not bring money into the family. But when you love one another, you also know what you want in life. So be knowledgeable, understand things, and apply the knowledge that you have. Actually, what I'm talking about here is what is written in Proverbs 24, verses 3 and 4. It says that by wisdom a house is built, through understanding it's established, and through knowledge its rooms are filled with precious items. There is knowledge, there is wisdom. There's knowledge, understanding, or wisdom. We can start with wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, whichever way it works. So that's the major advice that I give. Because a lot of couples are blinded by the fact that I love. She loves me, she loves me. He loves me. That's all what matters. But when they get into the marriage, they find that yes, they love one another, but there's no progress. There's no money. There's no food. There is no this. There's no investment. There's no that. What is happening? Because they have no knowledge, no understanding, no wisdom. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, what's maybe there's another question that I haven't asked that you feel needs to be said?
Many issues about. Of course, this is also very
broad.
It's about how the wife relates to the man.
Okay.
How the man relates to the wife.
In terms of money?
Yes, in terms of who obeys who.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about in marriage. You talk about submission, I should say. Yeah. When it comes to money, it's also about submission, love and submission. The principle of marriage is that the man, the husband that is, must love the wife. The principle of marriage to the woman is that the woman must submit to the husband. So the man should handle money in a loving way, in a way that reflects his love for the wife. The wife should look at money in also a manner that shows her submission to the husband. So when two people are fighting over money, they usually say, the wife will say, "You don't love me. The way you deal with money, you don't love me." The husband will say, "The way you deal with money, you don't submit to me. You want to use money anyhow. You call this your money." You say, we do have ladies that say, the money that the man makes is for the man, the wife, and the children, and the relatives. The money that the wife makes is for the wife. All right? So the wife would say, you don't love me. That's why you don't want me to keep this money. I make it myself. Why should you take money that I make? You don't love me. The husband will say, you don't submit to me. You make money and you want to use it yourself. So why do you have to call me your husband? Show the submission to me by taking the money and trust it with me within the family. Okay. And we talk about it together. So you'll find that although submission is a broad term, love is a broad term, it also affects money. It affects how we view each other around money. If you say a woman that earns a lot of money, that's a blessing to the family. But you may find that woman is taking the money and is using it for, maybe it's building a house elsewhere without the knowledge of the husband. So the husband will say, you don't submit to me. How can you do that? The wife will say, if you love me, live with me with my what? My money. You provide for me and stuff like that. So it's love and submission, really.
Okay. I'm trying to think that with the way in that scenario, the woman is thinking like that, isn't she taking that whole he is the provider thing, like literally? That if he's making the money, that he should be able to provide for everything.
Yeah, that's the thinking, and it's quite tempting to think that that's right.
Okay.
But if you think about it, that the theory that I'm using is that the man is the provider, and the woman is a helper. The helper, people think that when you say helper, then you're demeaning the woman, but you need to appreciate that scholars that do theology found that the word that is translated helper is the same word that the Bible uses for the Holy Spirit, saying, I will send you a helper.
Yeah.
Same word is used for the woman. So the woman actually does work in the marriage that is similar to that of the Holy Spirit. So what does the Holy Spirit do? It's a guide.
Yeah.
So the woman is a guide. That's why I said that women are intelligent. Because God cannot give you a guide that is not intelligent. Yeah. So when the woman says that you are the provider, she needs not to stop there. She has to say that I am your helper. So let's talk about these things in a normal, ordinary sense, and come to a conclusion of how we are going to go about this. So the problem is when you just start thinking that I own, he owns. The language should be we own. I would also say that our tradition, now in the context of us as Malawians, does not encourage us to think that way.
What
that
way?
We
or the
own.
we way.
Yeah, it's not part of our. Yes, we usually tell people one Kuwabalaja is the man, but we still have the woman who is holding onto things. I am the woman, I own this, I own that, I own that. And in our present world now, we are talking about the independent woman. It's just complicated also things, because now the woman thinks I am independent. The wife, the husband says that you have to submit. So how can an independent woman submit to another? So it's like we need to have a conversation of understanding what these terms mean and how do we deal with them with our particular family.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's our story.
That's deep and that's a lot, but I think my questions are done. Yeah. Is there any way where you advise couples to go to get more of this knowledge? Because it's not enough to just hear it once like this. For somebody, for example, who thinks in that independent kind of manner, for this message to sink in, watching one video will not do that. So,
Yeah, definitely. Do you want me to add something?
Yes, please.
All right. So when we talk about independent woman, it's not a bad thing. It's an asset.
Okay.
You need a woman, like a man. You need a woman who can see things and know what needs to be done.
Okay.
The real problem is the independence is interpreted that now, on one point you call yourself wife. The other time you call yourself independent.
So a wife cannot be
independent from what?
Okay.
The question is independent from what? So you cherish that independence. The husband cherishes that independence. When the woman is wherever she is, she makes very good, bright decisions without wanting the man. Because if I'm a good husband, I should get worried that my wife calls me for every little decision. Also, I want to do this. What do you think? 2 minutes later, I want to. So where is the brain there? Yeah. So you have a woman that has got a brain. So every man will cherish a woman that uses the brain well. But when it comes to submission, that's where we deal with the question of independence. So you can be independent from everything, so many things, but you can't be independent from your husband. Just like your husband is not independent from you. Because I am independent from all other women, but not from my wife. My wife is independent from all other men, but not from me. Because that's where the theory of one body. Yeah, so the one bodiness is what makes us not independent from one another. But in other spheres, we have to demonstrate independence. So if you get into the Bible, Proverbs 31 talks about the virtuous woman. When the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, it says that God has being gracious with a person. So God is gracious to everybody. Grace is applied across the board. But when it comes to the virtuous woman, that's extra effort. That's where you cherish the independence of your woman, that she can rise above all good women. She now becomes excellent. So excellence cannot come as a gift. Excellence always comes as part of hard work. So your woman is independent enough to tell you that, you know what, we can also do this. I can actually get there. I need your support in this. So she wakes up in the morning, she goes to her business, she knows how the business works, she makes money, she comes back home with a lot of money because of that kind of independent of thinking. So which husband would not like that kind of wife? I think every husband would want that kind of wife who brings things home because she has done extra effort. That's why now the Bible says, who can find a virtuous woman? Who? Because that woman is above the average. So God gives me and every man a good wife, because every perfect gift comes from God. Now when I get this perfect gift, it's up to me to take it to the next level. When we take that to the next level, the woman has become a virtuous woman. So she will be able to say, I am your wife, but I also do ABCD. And all other women, like the Bible says that the whole city talks about her, says, oh, we have wives, but that one is in another category. Yeah. So men should not avoid independent women, but the independence that the woman has should not be from the husband, but independent from all other men, for all other things, can make her own decisions. When she needs the husband's help, it's when she can call and say, okay, we are doing ABCD, it's going on well at our shop, but I also have to make this decision. I think you can make your input. Yeah. So the husband is going to say, okay, can you do ABCD? In fact, there are a lot of men that when their wives ask them, what do you think about this? They say, why don't you just make a decision? But the woman is looking up to the husband for guidance in that case. Yeah. Okay. So I hope I've said something sensible.
Yeah, more than sensible. More than sensible. So where can people find you to get your relationship coaching?
All right. So I live in Zomba because I work there. But nowadays I fully take advantage of technology. Okay. Yeah. So most of the people that I talk to, that I help, perhaps 99.9% now. Actually, I help them online.
Okay.
But I do have a small percentage of people that would want to meet me. So they either come to Zomba, we make arrangements, they foot their own bills, like that, we meet and we have a discussion.
Right.
They can also invite me as long as they also provide the logistics. So that, So I've been to Atlanta to meet people. I've had people from Atlanta, some as far as Molanji, but nobody has come from the central region, possibly because of distance. But I also deal with a lot of people in there, in the north as well. Okay. And Malawians outside Malawi. Some in the US, some in South Africa, others in the United Kingdom, and other countries. I am also available online. So what they need is to just either go on my Facebook page, but I prefer that they send me a WhatsApp. They call me or send me a WhatsApp message. Okay. So I can leave my number.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We'll write it on the screen. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't need to mention.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So that's how I deal with it. I can also say that I deal with groups as well.
Groups?
Yeah, so you can have, say, a group of ladies that want advice from me, but they want to get in as a group.
Okay.
So they can invite me, we can decide to meet at some place or stuff like that. Okay. I can take advantage of this conversation to say that I am a Seventh-day Adventist,
Okay.
but I'm not doing what I'm doing to Seventh-day Adventists only. I do it to everyone.
Okay.
So in Malawi, usually people identify each other by churches, denomination, religion. Yeah, I'm open to everybody. I help Seventh-day Adventists. I help Muslims. I help other Christian denominations. I even am very ready to help people who don't belong to denominations. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I'm called by God to do this, but my calling is to the whole world, not to one religion.
That's why I create a ministry.
Yes, that's why I call it. So when I talk about ministry, I'm not saying that I'm registered as this or that. No, but every believer, according to the Christian faith, is called to do certain things in this world. So some are called to be apostles, some are called to be teachers, others prefer. So I feel like I've been called to minister to the world on issues that have to go with relationships and family. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you once again.
All right.
Yeah. So there you have it, our viewers. This was quite an interesting conversation. I am sure you've learned a thing or two. Please drop your questions, your comments in the comment section below, and you will have the details of Dr. Kankuzi in the description box. And if you have any questions that you want addressed, you can also email us to the email that's in the description box. As always, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this video, and don't forget to like it so that we can grow and have this information relayed to a lot of people. Until next time, bye.